Hi guys, it's Sage again. I still don't have a tripod, so it's another video at an awkward angle. It's fine. You can see how cluttered my room is. So today I thought we would talk about weird religious or spiritual experiences. Um, this is something that really interests me because I've had them myself, so I guess I'll kind of talk about my experiences, and I'd really appreciate if you guys would share your experiences, and then I can kind of discuss other things that I've heard too that often point to religion or just a general spiritual experience. And more often than not, these experiences are what cause people to believe or convert to a religion, and at least in my experience and my research, personal experience is the best evidence that supernatural belief or religions have. So with personal experiences such as visions or dreams or full-on encounters with whatever supernatural being, it's really hard, it's impossible to deny someone that experience because there's a chance that they're faking just for attention, but I think a lot of people actually have these experiences and are really genuine about them, myself included. When I was young, I think I would have been 11 or 12. We had just refurnished our basement at my house, and I had just moved into my room in the basement. And I remember waking up and just screaming my head off for no reason. I didn't know why, and I didn't physically choose to do it. Like, I wasn't thinking in my head, oh, I'm mad at mom and dad, I want some attention now, I can't sleep, I'm angry. I wasn't thinking that. Although it was a long time ago, and possibly you could argue the point that maybe I was just trying to get attention. I really don't think I was. All I remember is waking up and just staring at the ceiling and just screaming. And I didn't see any ghosts, I didn't see demons or anything, but I interpreted it myself as some kind of demon possession, some kind of act of the devil. I was terrified, for no reason though. And if I remember correctly, the picture I have in my mind is looking at my ceiling, and the lights were on for some reason. Again, this could be a false aspect of the memory, but I know it actually happened because I have talked to my parents about it, and they remember it very clearly because I was screaming at the top of my lungs. And then my mom said that I went because it's a 3-level house including the basement. So I ran up from the basement stairs, and then I went to the edge of the floor, the stairs going to the second floor, and I yelled at the bottom of the stairs, "Mom, help me, Mom!" And I was screaming. And both my parents remember this. And I don't remember actually doing that at all. All I remember is waking up screaming and thinking I'm possessed. And then I don't remember anything. And then I remember again opening my eyes in my bed again. And I wasn't screaming, but I was very confused. I was like, what the hell just happened? Like, I was looking up at my parents, and I remember my mom being like, are you okay? You're gonna go to sleep now, okay? Everything's okay. And I was just sitting there really confused, like I had no idea what had just happened. And then ever since then, when I was in that room, I slept with the light on. The ceiling in that room you could dim the lights, you could adjust the brightness, and I would sleep with the lights on dim. And I would get my mom to leave the hallway light on. And I was older, like it wasn't like I was 5, I was 11 or 12. So that's considerably older, like that's not a child, that's an adolescent. So thinking about it now, I find it really weird that I had that experience at an older age. And yeah, I definitely interpreted that as demonic experience, like I thought I was possessed. And I have this vision of throwing things on the floor and breaking plates and stuff on the floor, but my mom says that didn't happen. But that's in my memory, and of course my parents would remember that. My parents said that didn't happen. They just remember me screaming and then running at the bottom of the stairs and yelling and running around, and then they had to drag me downstairs. But I have a memory of breaking dishes and plates. So now what I interpret that to be is kind of sleepwalking, I guess, with a nightmare. I'm not a psychologist. I don't really know a lot about neurology or anything. Or how I know a bit about dreams, but not how they work really. So if anyone can interpret that for me, let me know. I really don't. I can't explain it other than like I don't attribute it to anything supernatural now. Obviously, I think it was just kind of I was scared. It was a new space. It was unfamiliar. That was the first night I'd stayed in that room. It was the basement. You know, basements are creepy, crawly, a lot of sounds. Anytime everyone would walk on the floor above me, I'd hear creaking. So, you know, it's just kind of creepy, especially for a child. Even though I was older, when you're 12, you still believe in, you know, that spooky stuff. And I really was I was really interested in ghosts and demonic possession. I actually found it really interesting and scary, and I would watch those. I'm sure there's an equivalent in other countries, but it was called Creepy Canada, the show, and it was just like ghost stories and reenactments, and I would watch that. My mom wasn't looking because I wasn't allowed because it was scary, and I think that's kind of what influenced it. Like, I was thinking about that, and it did scare me. So that could have definitely, I believe that played a huge part in that. And then also just the religious aspect of it too. You know, I went to church, and at that time I would have gone to a Lutheran school. So I would have heard about possession and all of that all the time, and my parents very much believed and still believe in that kind of thing. So I definitely had those influences, and I think it was just, obviously to me, it was a psychological trick and sleepwalking and just a new environment and my young mind playing tricks on me. But I really, if any of you have experience in that, please, I'd be really interested in knowing what you guys think. Sorry, I just moved because there's a light shining in my eye. The next thing I wanted to talk about is experiences that I've heard from people. So I have a friend who is into a lot of New Age stuff. He calls himself an atheist, but he believes in supernatural things with the chakras, and I honestly don't know too much about New Age, but it's like Buddhism with some different elements of Buddhism. It's like a modern Buddhism, like hippie kind of thing, for lack of a better term. And they still have the chakras and all of that. So he had a story where his aunt was in the hospital and she'd broken her wrist or something like that, and she was in severe pain, and she didn't want to take any pain medication like morphine or anything. So all he did was he took his hands and held them over her wrist, and she was like, well, "What are you doing? Like, what's going on?" And he's like, "No, just relax." And he did that, and apparently all of her pain just went away, according to him. So that was something I couldn't explain that, other than psychological trick, which our minds are prone to doing. So it's not that I think he was sincerely believing that he actually helped her, which is fine. I don't think he's making it up, just to get attention or whatever. But it's really hard for me to believe that out of all the experiences that's that's the true one, and then that one proves that New Age beliefs are true, because you hear it in all religions. I don't know if you guys have heard of the show Miracles Decoded. I more watch it just to kind of see, I guess, for the same reason I'm making this video. It's just interesting to me, to see different experiences that people have had, like Virgin Mary statues crying tears of blood, and exorcisms. That show has a lot of examples like this. One I remember as a girl was whitewater rafting, I believe, and she got knocked off and she drowned and she was clinically dead for I don't know how long, and then they brought her back to life and she had a vision of heaven. Something like that is easily explainable to me, because if you're religious, or you're even if you're not religious and you're exposed to a specific religion and then you have that near-death experience, it's because you've been exposed to it and people have said, oh, this is what's going to happen. So in that way your brain plays a trick on you, and gives you that vision. That's kind of how I view it. Like I said, I'm no psychologist or neurologist or whatever. But to me it's obvious why someone like her would have a vision of Jesus in heaven. Because she was a Christian, I believe. I'm almost certain that she was a Christian. Or she definitely was exposed to it. This is in North America. You can't live in North America without being exposed to Christianity. So it's really obvious that her brain was exposed to that, so that's what she saw, and that's what she expected to see when she died, because you hear about it, everyone else says that this is what happened. So I'm not really sure if that argument holds water, because I'm not exactly sure, but it makes a lot of sense to me, because association and the brain and expectation are huge. That's why placebos work, and that kind of thing. So that's really all I have to say. I hope you guys will share your spiritual, religious experiences, or explain them, how you interpret them, whether you interpret it as spiritual or not. I'm really interested in hearing that. So thanks again for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please subscribe. Seeing my views and likes and subscribers go up always motivates me to make more videos. So I've done well in making a video every week so far, so hopefully I can keep up with that, and your support and suggestions just further encourage me. So thank you guys so much for everything you've done, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.